Hello everybody, how you doing today? This video has been requested probably for 3 years and I've just never gotten around to doing it, but I figured this is as good a time as any to do a video on how to make an EFI for your computer when all you have is a Windows computer to make that EFI. So there are many different ways to do this, and I'm going to pick what I feel is the easiest way to do this. It's a little bit involved, but once you get to the end result, it's so much easier to make your EFI on a macOS environment. So yes, we are going to install a virtual machine on this Windows computer. Now, I'm going to tell you straight off the bat, if you've got a super low-end computer, like an old i5 Haswell or something like that, this is going to be very, very difficult. It's going to be extremely slow. What I'm using right now is an i3 processor, 10th gen, and it works pretty good. And I've got 32 gigs of RAM. Now you could do 16 gigs, that wouldn't be a problem. But I just want to be straight with you that if you have a super low end system, this probably isn't going to work for you, and you're going to need to find a Mac to make your EFIs. So before we get started, I wanted to show you a new addition to my website. I am now selling motherboards that I have used in my videos. And the reason I want to sell these motherboards is because I end up having a lot of motherboards in stock that I've already done videos on and I have no use for them. So what I'm doing is I'm selling the motherboard and a minimum 512 gigabyte, like let's pick this one right here. So we've got a 512 gigabyte NVMe. I'm not selling RAM with it. I'm not selling a CPU with it. If you do need RAM and CPU, just email me and I'll help you out. And then you can choose a bigger NVMe if you want, and you can choose the macOS that you want installed. So basically, you're buying a motherboard that's still under factory warranty for less money than if you bought it like at Amazon, and it includes an NVMe with macOS already installed. So it just makes it easy, helps me out, hopefully it helps you out to get a system up and running quicker. All right, enough of the advertisement. So let's get into this. What we've got is we're going to install VirtualBox. And this is not very difficult. I'm going to try to go into detail so you don't get lost. So we're doing this on a Windows machine, right? So we just want to go right here to the Windows host, and we're downloading the software. Okay? Now I've already downloaded it, but that's all right. We'll just let this finish and we will install it. But first, we also want to download right here these VirtualBox extension pack. I've already downloaded it. You just click here to download those. Something else we're going to need is we're going to need a macOS to download in an ISO format. Okay, so I found this link. It's just for Mac OS Catalina. So you just click here to download it. You're going to get this pop-up screen. Just close it. Don't click on anything on that pop-up, and it'll start downloading, as you can see here. So those are the things that we need. We need the host, we need the extension pack, and we need the Mac OS. Now, if you search online, I'm sure you'll find other versions of Mac OS in an ISO format, but this is what I found was simple to install and is not as taxing on your host computer. The host computer being right here, the Windows computer. All right, so let's go ahead I'm going to cancel this download here. Let's go ahead and install VirtualBox. All right, so I'm going to right click on it and run as administrator and say yes, next, just next, yes, yes, install. Real fast. And then we can start. Okay, the next thing we want to do is we want to install that expansion pack. So we're going to click install and just grab the expansion pack, open, install, and then just pull this down and agree. Okay, that's done. Now we can go back over here to new, and you want to name your virtual box. Okay, I'm going to name it Mac 2. And then right here is the ISO image that we downloaded, or you downloaded, and that's that Catalina. And then if you name it Mac, it usually pops up here like this. But if it doesn't, this is where you choose MACOS X, and you want to make sure you're on 64-bit. And then click Next. Now here we're asked, how much memory do you want to give the virtual box or macOS? So I have 32 gigs, so I'm going to give it half. And this is a good judge, even if you're on 16 gigs, give it half. And then I've got 8 cores and threads, so I'm going to give it 3. Pretty good number for this. Okay, and we'll click Next. And then the virtual size of the disk, the hard disk, okay? 20 gig is by default, and that's not big enough. So I'm going to put it up to 100, about 120. Okay, then click Next, and then Finish. All right, now we have a few more settings we need to make. Okay, so just come on up here to Settings, and go to System, and here's where we change the memory, okay, and the processor. Acceleration is on, that's good. So go back here to motherboard. We're going to uncheck floppy, optical. I just have hard disk enabled. And then we'll go to display and video memory. Give it all 128 megabytes. And I have one monitor hooked up. All right, and then we do want 3D acceleration. Okay, and then down here where it says USB, if you're trying to use USB 3s, you want to click there. Okay, and then click OK. All right, now before we click Start, we have one more thing to do. And in the description down below, you're going to see this text file. Just open that up, and we need to make a few changes to this and then add these lines into DOS mode here on the computer, on the Windows computer. So first of all, right here, we need to type in what we named our virtual machine. And remember, we named it Mac 2. So I'm going to click here and go to Replace. And right here, it's already in there because I put it in there earlier. But what we can do is we can just highlight this. Okay, copy it, paste it into here, and we're going to replace the text with Mac 2, and then replace all. All right, so now we have this all set properly. Now we need to add these lines. So we'll go down here, type CMD, and run as administrator, say yes. And we just want to copy and paste all these lines and run them. Okay, we'll speed this up so you don't have to watch it. And one more. Okay, now we can close this out. And we can close this out. Now we're ready to install Catalina. So we're going to click Start. And this takes quite a bit of time, guys. It takes about 10 minutes just to get up to the utility to format the drive. So I'll be right back. Okay, so we're coming up here, Apple logo. Okay. Okay, guys, so now you can pick your language and click Continue or arrow. Now we're coming up to Disk Utility. So click here, Continue, and then select this arrow here and Show All Devices. We want to pick this VBox hard disk media and erase it and call it whatever you want. I'm going to call it Mac 2 and change this to APFS GUID partition map. Erase. Pretty quick. Close out of here and then install MacOS. Agree and agree. And there's my drive. Install. Okay, this will take a good bit of time, guys. So just relax, wait till it's done, and we'll be back. Okay, back to the Apple again after the text again. Still installing. Okay, about 14 minutes remaining. It'll probably be longer than that, but just let it go. Less than a minute remaining. Let's see what happens. Okay, there it goes. Another reboot. All right, let's see. All right, so we are ready to finish this up. So I'm going to go ahead and go through these screens. The response is pretty good. Continue. Continue. Don't want to transfer. I'm going to do this later. Skip. Agree. And agree. And we'll just name it. Give it a password. Continue. I'll just continue. Continue. Set up later. Don't need that. Continue. Yeah, it's very responsive. Okay, continue. All right. Yeah, whatever. Accept. Let's get rid of this. Continue. Just follow the prompts there for the keyboard. Wow, there we go. So now I'm going to take my USB stick I want to use, and let's see if we can see the USB stick. And as you can see, there's no USB stick coming up. So come over here to fix this, to Devices, go to USB, USB Settings, and over here you want to click the plus sign, and there is my SanDisk. So I want that, and I also want this ITE device. Okay, if you want to just include them all, you can. The Intel Corp, everything, and then say OK, and we should get a USB stick. But we have to take it, unplug it, and then plug it back in. All right, so there it is. Now, as you can see, we got Sonoma on here. Now we're just a regular Mac, guys. We can go over here and start downloading what we need, okay? So I'm going to go over to Open Core. So we're just like being on a real Mac. And there you go. So I can get started. Now, I want to build an EFI for a 8th gen system that I have here. It's a little Dell computer, and we're going to make an EFI for that and install macOS on it, okay? I'm going to go over to OC Auxiliary Tools and download this wonderful program, okay? So we'll go here to Releases, and we'll just grab the latest version. Now, guys, if you ever get this circle waiting for the assets to drop, what I've had to do is just go download Firefox. I don't know whether maybe you guys can tell me in the description below, that comments below, that is this an issue with Safari or something? They think that there's a bunch of viruses or something. I don't know. But to get around it, I just use Firefox and everything goes quickly. So we'll download it and install it. Okay, let's go get auxiliary tools again. Releases. And there they are. Isn't that crazy? All right, let's just go ahead and download for Mac. We'll put this on the desktop. All right. Now let's get into this. This will be a refresher course for all you guys that have not seen a video on auxiliary tools. So this is good for everyone. I'm going to right click for the first time and open it, and then cancel, and then right click, open, and click open, and then OK. The first thing that I want to do is I want to upgrade Open Core Auxiliary Tools. So we'll come right over here, and we will just make sure this is on latest version. Get latest version. All right. So now we're on right here, 9.6. Okay, so let's close out of here. And what we want to do is we're building this for an 8th/9th gen. Okay, so we'll go over here and then click on Intel CPU configuration templates. And then we click right here on plist. And here is our list of config.plist. And we want an 8th/9th gen Coffee Lake. And we're going to just click on that one. And then click here to download it. All right, so here it is. We'll open it up. Right click and open with auxiliary tools. Okay, now as you can see, these red dots mean that there are no files. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is go right up here to edit, and we're going to generate EFI on desktop. All right, and say OK, and OK. And everything turned green except for these two. So we're just going to leave these turned off for now. And right here, ACPIs, we've got all of the SSDTs that we are going to need. This is the simplest way to do this. Now, what we want to do is go to DP, which is display port, and we want to make sure that this top line is turned on. If you'll notice right here, there's a pound sign. That means this line is turned off. So I want to eliminate that. And then I want to double click this one because this has onboard graphics only because it's it's a micro PC. And then go back here and get rid of this -0. All right, so if we see here, this is what OpenCore or the EFI is going to pick up. And it's going to pick up this right here, this information for the onboard Intel high definition graphics. Okay, so we're all set for that. Kernel, we're all set. But on this computer, we also need another kext. We need one for the LAN controller. So let's go over here and we'll go back over to OpenCore. And we will get that kext that we need, okay? Go into here. We'll go down here to gathering files. And then we'll go down here to Ethernet. And this has an I219 chip, NIC chip. So that's it right there, also known as Intel Mousy. So we'll click here. And we will click the release version. And we will open it up. Open it up. And just all we need is the Intel Mousy.kext. All right. So we'll minimize this for now. All right. And we will open up our EFI OC kext, and we will paste it into here. Okay, so that's how you get your other kext, all right? And so here it is. It already injected it. Now, we need a couple more kext. All right, so let's close out of here. This has built-in Wi-Fi, so gathering files, and we need Wi-Fi Bluetooth. So we're going to grab this kext for the Wi-Fi. Now I'm installing Sonoma on this computer, so I am going to grab right here the kext, which is right there. They don't have a release version yet, but this works fine. I've been using it several times and it works. Works great, as a matter of fact. Okay, we'll just copy this one. I'm sorry the screen is so small that I'm working in, so I just got to do it like this. Here, I'll go to the desktop, to the EFI we're building. OpenCore kext, drop this one. And then we need the ones for Bluetooth. So we'll go back, scroll down just a little bit more. And we'll pick Intel Bluetooth. And we'll download the latest. So we do not, for Sonoma, we do not need the injector. So we just need patcher and firmware. So we'll grab those and put those into our EFI. And for Bluetooth, we need one more. So if you come up here, if you read the instructions for Monterey or newer, we also need this Bluetooth fix-up, okay? So we'll click there, and we'll just grab the latest release, and we want the release version. All right, open this up, unzip it, and there is, we only need this, Bluetooth fixup.kext. All right, so let's grab that. Let's go over here to the desktop again, and the kext folder, and drop it in. All right, so let's go back over to our open core that we're building. And as you can see here, we're missing some of the kext. So we're going to go plus, and we're going to go to the kext folder, and we're going to grab all of these that are not included. So we'll go down to here, and we will click open. So now we have our kext. I'm not worried about these. In fact, I'm going to get rid of them. Don't need them. And then we'll go up here. ACPI looks good. We already did the graphic situation. Now we need to come down here and add some boot arguments. So let's go over here and start right here. So we're going to add -v so we can see the text, see the install as it goes, and then keep sims equals 1 space debug equals 0x100 ALCID equals 1, and that is for the audio. All right, so there we go on that. Now we need to go to platform info, and we need to change this to iMac 1,1 or iMac Pro 1,1 right there. And then go ahead and click here to generate your serial numbers, okay? There you go. Always save. Everything here's fine. All of this is good. We don't need to worry about anything in there. All right, so this should be it to get macOS installed, and we're going to install Sonoma. So how do we do that? Well, we need a stick with Sonoma on it. All right, so what we'll do is, now that we have this computer, we can go back to Open Core, and we can go to making the installer in macOS. Okay, and then come on down here till we get to this line of text. Just copy that over. All right, then we'll close this so we can see what's going on. We'll open up Terminal, and we'll paste that in there. Hit enter, put in your password. Stretch this out so we can see what's going on. All right, look at this. Look at all the list of software we can download. So I want the latest version of Sonoma, which is 14.1.1, 14.1.1. Okay. You've got Ventura, you've got everything in here, older versions of Sonoma, but I want this one, which is number 27. So I put in 27, hit enter, and it's going to download. This will take a little bit of time, but we'll come back. All right, guys, we are all done. We're down here at the bottom. So where does this file go? Let's see if I can show you that. Just kidding. It goes here. Go to computer, go to your hard drive, and then go to users. My user is Mac, and it's right here, macOS installer. So double click on that, and then right click and open this. and it's going to verify the file. And then we're going to move that file to the applications folder. All right, so here it is. So we have to move it now to the applications folder. Just drag it and drop it right there. When that's done copying, we'll come back and we'll show you how to make the USB stick. All right, guys, so there it is. It's now in our applications folder right here. All right, so I went ahead and stuck my USB here, and I'm going to erase this. So we'll go up here, go to Utilities, and Disk Utility, Show All Devices, and there's my SanDisk right here. It's a 32 gig stick. I'm going to erase it. I'm going to call it USB, and then leave it MACOS Extended Journal and GUID partition map. Erase it. All right, done with that. Now I'm going to go back to the web and just type in make a USB bootable for Mac right here. And we just click on create a bootable Mac OS. Come down here till we see Sonoma. We'll copy this line of text. Okay, copy it. Close out of here. Go to Terminal. Paste that in. And I named my USB stick USB. So I'm going to back up and type in USB. Hit enter. Put in my password. Now after you hit put in your password, if it gets stuck like this, just wait for it. It could take a couple of minutes. It'll come up. Okay, then it finally comes up here. You just type Y for yes and hit enter. And this will then erase the disk. When we come back, we will be ready to put the EFI onto the EFI partition of the thumb drive. All right, guys, all done with that. So now we have our, let me get rid of this. This is not our drive. Okay. So now we have our USB. There it is. All right, so we need to get this EFI onto this, but we have to use this program again, OC Auxiliary Tools, to open up the hidden partition on the USB stick. So we go to our USB right here, and we click Mount, put in our password. All right, and there is the hidden EFI partition. Nothing in it. So we just drag and drop it into there. And that's it. Making an EFI folder on Windows with a virtual machine Mac. So is it ridiculous? No, because a lot of people, they don't have access to a Mac, but they want to take maybe their computer they're working on right now, like this Windows machine, and they want to turn it into a Mac system. So this is the way you can get the whole thing done on a Windows machine without too much pain involved. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this video. The next video will be very short. It'll just be showing the machine that we're installing this Sonoma on, and we'll just show you real quick install on that and how it goes. All right, we'll see you on the next video.